Good morning. Catching my breath. I just finished feeding all the animals. And I thought I would say hello. It is January 2nd, and we have spent, Happy New Year's, first of all. We've spent the last 2 days thinking about the coming year for the CSA and for the Learning Center. And I made the announcement on the Facebook page that in the coming days we would be making announcements as to what the year holds for the farm. So first off, we had announced to our 2017 CSA members that in the spring of this year we would be moving. And we moved a year and a half ago also. And the reason for that is we started out by renting land, and we've been renting here for a year and a half, and it has met our needs and has been wonderful. However, the goal, of course, is to not have to put up fencing, take down fencing, put up fencing, take down fencing. And the solution to that is purchasing land. And I'm sure many of you understand that the cost of land in Alberta is quite high. However, we are blessed to have an opportunity to purchase land through a friend of the family and to make arrangements that work perfectly for us. And so we're thankful and seizing the opportunity. And it just so happens that that land is about 3 to 4 minutes from where we are currently. So it's just win, 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 win. And it's still at the edge of the Tuatna Valley, which is where we want to stay. So that's exciting news. It's wonderful. And this year is going to hold so much work and excitement. This land that we're moving to is unserviced land. So that means that we are building the homestead from the ground up. So we're going to be off grid, living in the Hempcrete hay wagon house, and really delving into the lifestyle that we support and that we have been working towards for several years now. So that's great, and we're excited, and it means some changes for the farm. So a couple of examples of changes is that this land is fully forested, and that makes it enchanting. However, it means that we are going to have to clear a little bit of space for the gardens. There is a little bit of space for the house and gardens cleared already, and some wintering pens for the animals. However, there's just a lot of work. We have to put in the driveway. We have to put in the dugouts and cisterns for water. We have to install photovoltaics and a generator. It's just, we're doing all of it from scratch, and we're doing it all ourselves. So that means that we're downsizing this year. And we made that announcement to our CSA members at the end of the season that with these changes, it would be impossible for us to have a 100-member CSA. And so we've had to look at, okay, which market are we going to serve? Where are the families that we're going to have as members this year then, given that we will not be able to supply 100 families this year? So we assessed how many families can we grow for this year, and we've settled on 30 members. Would be how much we're comfortable taking on. We can produce for more than 30, and so we're going to serve the Slave Lake market and do the farmers market there, and then possibly the farmers market in Athabasca, which works out because the farmers market in Slave Lake is Fridays, and then anything extra will sell in Athabasca the following day. So that's a big change. We're not serving Edmonton for a summer CSA. However, we are going to continue serving our members who would like to purchase meat shares in Edmonton. And so size is one of the changes. A second is we're going to be off grid. So This past year, we have been running so many freezers full of meat and making weekly meat share deliveries. And that's going to be changing a little bit this year because we won't be able to run as many deep freezes this year. So we will be doing meat deliveries to Edmonton a few times a year, and then we will have space to do weekly or bi-weekly deliveries to Slave Lake for meats. So that's a big change. And another final change is the Learning Center has been launched. And so this has been in the works for the past 2 years also. And the time just wasn't quite right yet. However, it is now. And it has been launched, and we've been offering workshops, and they've been selling out, and we're so blessed. And the Learning Center is based on off-grid living, homesteading, and permaculture practicums. And I'll offer a link at the end of this video if you want to check those out. It's just one of the other things that we'll be doing in 2018. The geese are very worked up right now. So that's a change. And then the final change is the mix of what we will be raising this year. We've downsized, obviously, for the move and for the change in the number of families that we'll be growing for. And the type of animals that we're going to be raising is shifting just a little bit. So we'll still have... Doing a video! Thanks for interrupting it! Shush! Thank you! Anyways. So we'll be doing a slightly different mix of animals for the coming year. And one of those, the biggest change is, there's two big changes. One is in the chickens. So we have talked a bit about in the past our opinion on commercial breeds of animals. And the commercial breed of animals that I have the most difficulty with philosophically is the Cornish cross chicken. Mainly because I don't really feel like it's a real chicken. We treat them as well as we would any chicken. However, they do not have bird instincts. And I swear they are kamikaze animals. They are looking for opportunities to die actively every day. Whereas the rest of our chickens are fine. They are survivors. They have great instincts. And the Cornish cross chicken has been raised to grow so quickly. So much so that its internal organs often can't keep up with how fast it puts on weight. And so they'll just have heart attacks and die. And this bothers me. And their legs will give out because they are not strong enough to support their weight. And this breed of bird is just, it's what is sold in the grocery stores, and they taste great. However, it's not a sustainable option. They need conditions that you would find in industrial farms. Puppies are fighting. And we're not an industrial farm, and we're never going to be an industrial farm, and I don't want to cater what we're raising to the conditions that are necessary in industrial farms. So this year is going to be, we're weaning ourselves off. We're transitioning from Cornish cross chickens to heritage breed chickens, and those are just different. They cook differently. They taste a little bit different. I think they taste better, but they are a slower cooking bird as they are raised outside, and they do have real muscle mass, not just muscle volume. It's not just big breasts. They have fully functioning, hardy muscles. And so that type of chicken is different for people. It's not what they're used to because that's not what you get in the grocery store. So we're going to be downsizing the number of broilers that we raise this year so that we can focus on heritage birds more and more, and hopefully educate our customers about why it's important to have these heritage breeds and how to cook with them and how to make them wonderful and delicious. So that's another change. So we're going to be focusing on Slave Lake for our veggie CSA. We're going to be serving Edmonton throughout the year at different points for meat sales. We will have chickens, but they'll be slightly different. And we will be focusing more on cattle. So this land that we're moving to we have access to some pasture. And we have been raising cows, and I love cows so much. And we have settled on a breeding strategy for cattle that will, that kind of brings us back to how cattle was raised 100 years ago, where it's grass-fed and grass-finished, and where we're not raising cattle to these enormous sizes where a single steak covers more than a dinner plate. That's not what most families want. And I mean, there are people who do want the jumbo brontosaurus steaks. However, it's hard to get an animal to that size without feeding grain, and that's not as healthy for the animal or for the people eating that meat. So that's going to be another shift, is focusing on our cattle a little bit more. So those are some exciting and wonderful changes. The website is being updated right now, so you will see those changes reflected on the website, and I'll be beginning to share the steps that we're taking in moving off grid and farming for the next few months where we are now, just to share with you the excitement. It's such an exciting time of year for us, where the lambs are coming now. We have one ewe that's ready to lamb in the next 48 hours. And so that's exciting. It's exciting when the babies show up on the farm. We want what we're doing to be something that you can participate in two ways. One is by sharing the information about what's going on the farm, but also in having you come out and see us. So last year we scheduled visits during the spring, and it was so wet and muddy, and it was just not the right time for having people out while we're sloshing through mud. However, our winter visit was great, and we got to do a tour of the farm and introduce everybody to the animals. And that's something that we not only want to do while we're still here, where we're renting, but at the new land where we will be living. Part of the focus of our setup there is to incorporate people in this lifestyle. So to have people come out and not only take a tour, but to have chances to participate in what's happening. And so you can expect to see those opportunities more and more as the year progresses. We feel like what is happening here is special and wonderful and different from conventional farming. The sheep are really excited now too. So we want you to be able to participate in that, and we want a relationship with our families. And this past year, it felt like that fell away a little bit. The year before, where we were managing the farm, that was part of the philosophy we were fostering. And it feels like as we grew to 100 families, that was lost. And our values are so important in our farming that I would rather not farm than to farm against our values. So what does that mean? It means we want a relationship with our families. We don't want our members to simply be transactions of food for money. And we are blessed to have members who've been with us for 2 years now, who are very much that. They are people that we are excited to get to know and who are supportive not only of the products that we have available and the food that we're raising, but us. And so we get that relationship that is so important to us. And that's the focus. And that's another reason for downsizing, is we need to bring that back. Food should be based on relationships, not transactions. And I'm excited to bring that back. although we had newsletters and updates throughout the year this past year, it became apparent to us, and I think our members too, that the personal touch and the communication was about what was available and times for deliveries and stuff like that. And yes, we need to communicate that, and that will continue. However, we want to ensure that you are having the opportunity to know where your food comes from, not just to see the person delivering it, and to know what's going on in the animals' lives and in our lives, and to return to that model of farming where it's family to family rather than business to family or business to customer. So that's another exciting change, and a part of that will be for our Edmonton families who we will have meat shares for. We're going to be inviting members to participate in our meat CSA this year. The members that we've had on board for multiple years, the members that we have developed relationships with, and that we really feel connected to. So, although everybody can see this video, some of you will be expecting emails to invite you to participate in our meat share this year. And yeah, so I've covered a lot, and this is a really long video. I might have to split this into a few videos. I don't know that you're going to have 20 minutes to watch this, but I suppose you can always digest it in chunks. So thank you for spending some time with me this morning, and I'm going to get back to chores now and go eat breakfast myself, and you can expect more updates as the weeks progress. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.